Have you ever felt like there's something greater waiting for you? That deep inside, you were meant for more. More abundance, more joy, more divine purpose? My friend, this is not a coincidence. This is a divine calling. The universe, or should I say, God Himself, is speaking to you right now. He has planted dreams inside your heart, but the question is, are you ready to claim them? In this video, we will uncover powerful biblical truths and spiritual laws that have been hidden in plain sight. We'll explore how faith, vibrations, and the law of attraction align with God's promises for your life. If you've been praying for breakthrough, for a sign, for a shift in your reality, this is it. Stay until the end, because what you're about to hear might just change your life forever. Are you ready to step into your God-given abundance? Let's dive in. Soulmates are not just life partners or best friends. They are those who help guide you towards a deeper understanding of life's purpose. Their presence in your life serves as a reminder of the spiritual connections that bind us together in this journey. The bond shared with a soulmate goes beyond the physical and emotional realms, reaching into the very essence of who we are as spiritual beings. In fact, this connection can be viewed as a divine blessing, a manifestation of God's will for you to grow closer to your higher self. When two souls are destined to meet, it is often because they share a similar path, one that leads to spiritual growth and enlightenment. Their beliefs align and their values mirror each other, creating a harmonious relationship where both individuals uplift one another. This is not merely a companionship for comfort, but a partnership designed to foster spiritual maturity. Through mutual support and shared experiences, you learn and grow in ways that would be impossible on your own. In the Bible, it is said that, "Where 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, there am I with them." Matthew 18:20. This powerful verse speaks to the strength that lies in unity, especially when two souls come together with a common purpose. A soulmate can help you align with your divine purpose, just as you help them align with theirs. The connection you share is sacred, and through it, you both experience a closer walk with God, a deeper understanding of love, and a stronger sense of peace. In this journey, you begin to realize that the purpose of life is not just about seeking worldly happiness, but about connecting with the divine and experiencing spiritual fulfillment. Soulmates serve as catalysts in this process, helping to awaken the dormant aspects of your soul that yearn for growth and evolution. Their presence challenges you to examine your beliefs, your fears, and your desires, forcing you to confront parts of yourself that you might otherwise avoid. But this connection is not always easy. It is important to note that the road to spiritual awakening can be difficult, and soulmates often come into your life to challenge you. They push you to become the best version of yourself, sometimes through moments of discomfort and difficulty. These trials are not meant to break you, but to refine you. Just as gold is purified through fire, your soul is cleansed and strengthened through the challenges you face together. As you walk this path together, you begin to understand that the love you share with your soulmate is not just a reflection of earthly affection, but of a divine love that transcends time and space. This love is patient, kind, and enduring. It is not based on fleeting emotions or temporary circumstances, but on the eternal bond that connects two souls destined to be together. This deeper connection also leads to a more profound understanding of life's purpose. With your soulmate by your side, you are encouraged to serve a higher calling, to contribute to the world in ways that go beyond personal gain. You both inspire each other to live a life of service, love, and compassion, embodying the values that Christ taught through his actions. Together, you create a space where spiritual growth is nurtured, where both of you are supported in your journey to fulfill the divine plan for your lives. This bond is not a mere coincidence. It is the manifestation of divine orchestration, the hand of God guiding two souls towards their ultimate destiny. Through the presence of a soulmate, you begin to realize that the trials you face are not random, but part of a larger spiritual plan. The difficulties and joys you experience together serve as opportunities for growth, transformation, and the deepening of your faith. As you continue on this spiritual journey with your soulmate, you find that the connection you share is a source of strength, joy, and peace. It is a reminder that you are not alone on this path. In the presence of your soulmate, you discover that you are part of a greater whole, a divine plan that is unfolding with each step you take. And through this realization, you are able to surrender more fully to the flow of life, trusting that everything is happening for your highest good and for the fulfillment of your divine purpose. The relationship with a soulmate is a testament to the fact that love is not just a human emotion, but a divine force. It is a love that transcends time, space, and circumstance, guiding both souls towards a higher understanding of themselves and the Creator. When you walk this path together, you are not only supporting each other but also serving as instruments of God's will, helping to bring light, peace, and love into the world. When you meet your soulmate, the sensation is unlike anything you've ever felt. It's as if you've known them forever, even though it's your first encounter. This familiarity, this deep sense of connection, is something beyond what the mind can comprehend. It's as if your souls have crossed paths in another time or place, only to find each other again now. The conversation flows effortlessly, with no awkward pauses or forced words. Everything feels natural, as if you are picking up where you left off in a lifetime long past. This feeling of deep recognition is not just a coincidence, but a divine experience that has been orchestrated by a higher power. In the Bible, it is written, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans for welfare and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope." Jeremiah 29:11. This verse reminds us that God has designed our lives with purpose, and meeting your soulmate is part of that divine plan. The connection you feel with them is the work of a higher force, aligning your souls in perfect harmony. When you meet your soulmate, it feels like an awakening. Your soul recognizes them, and your heart knows they are meant to be in your life. There's a sense of completion, as if you have found a piece of yourself that you didn't even know was missing. It's a powerful, life-changing experience that cannot be described by words alone. It transcends the physical world and reaches into the spiritual realm, where souls connect on a much deeper level. This instant connection is often accompanied by a sense of peace. There is no fear, no hesitation, only an overwhelming sense of knowing that this person is meant for you. It's as though your soul has been waiting for this moment, and now that it's here, everything feels right. This connection is more than just a simple meeting. It's a recognition of a bond that was formed long before you met in this lifetime. When two souls are meant to be together, their paths will cross, and there's no denying the deep connection that exists between them. The Bible also tells us that a man's heart plans his way, but the Lord directs his steps. Proverbs 16:9. No matter how much we try to plan or control our lives, it is ultimately God who directs our steps. And when you meet your soulmate, it is a clear sign that God has guided both of you to one another, bringing you together at the perfect moment. This connection can bring a sense of comfort and joy that words cannot fully express. It's as if you found a home in another person, a place where you feel completely accepted, understood, and loved. Your soulmate brings out the best in you, helping you grow spiritually, emotionally, and mentally. They mirror your soul in ways that allow you to discover new depths of your own being, unlocking parts of yourself that you may have forgotten or never realized existed. Your soulmate may not be perfect, and neither are you. However, the bond that you share goes beyond imperfections. It is a divine union, a connection that transcends the physical and the material. It is a spiritual journey that will help both of you grow closer to God as well as to each other. The love that you share with your soulmate is not just an earthly love, but one that is rooted in the divine. It is a reflection of God's love for us, unconditional and eternal. The recognition you feel when you meet your soulmate is not just about the chemistry or the instant attraction. It is about something far deeper. It is the recognition of a soul that has been waiting for you, and the moment you meet, you can feel the sacredness of that bond. It's a feeling that cannot be explained by reason or logic, but only by the heart. In the Bible it says, "I have loved you with an everlasting love." Jeremiah 31:3. And that is the love that exists between soulmates. It's a love that transcends time, space, and circumstance. When you meet your soulmate, it's as if your heart has been awakened to a truth that you've always known deep within your soul. It's a truth that surpasses anything you have ever learned or experienced in this life. This recognition brings with it a sense of peace, of fulfillment, and of purpose. It's the realization that you are not alone, and that the person you are meant to spend your life with is standing right in front of you. This experience is a reminder that life is not random, and that there is a divine plan for each of us. It is a reminder that God is always working behind the scenes, bringing people together and guiding them to their destiny. Meeting your soulmate is a beautiful reminder that we are never truly alone, and that love is a powerful force that connects us all, transcending time and space, and bringing us closer to the divine. In conclusion, when you meet your soulmate, you will feel a deep, unmistakable sense of recognition. It is a connection that transcends time, space, and logic, and it is a reminder that there is a divine plan for each of us. Your soulmate is not just someone you are meant to love. They are someone who has been brought into your life to help you grow spiritually, emotionally, and mentally. They are a reflection of God's love for you, and together you will embark on a beautiful journey of love, growth, and spiritual awakening. In the intricate dance of life, we often search for connection, seeking someone who mirrors our values and reflects our inner truth. The term soulmate brings with it a sense of deep connection, as though two souls, predestined by a divine plan, converge with a shared purpose. But what is the true essence of a soulmate relationship? It's not just about romantic love or companionship, but about the alignment of values and purpose. This alignment allows two individuals to walk together in life with mutual respect and understanding, even if their paths are not identical. Life, in its wisdom, often brings us partners who may not share every opinion or perspective we hold. But the core values that drive us, the beliefs we hold dear, are the forces that create harmony between two souls. As the Bible teaches in 2 Corinthians 6:14, "Do not be unequally yoked together with unbelievers. For what fellowship has righteousness with lawlessness? And what communion has light with darkness?" This verse emphasizes the importance of finding unity in foundational values. It doesn't mean that differences won't exist, but it calls attention to the fact that a true connection is rooted in a shared understanding of what is righteous, what is true, and what is sacred. The journey of life is a series of experiences, both joyous and challenging. And in every chapter, we encounter individuals who resonate with our energy, who challenge our thinking, and who complement the purpose we are meant to fulfill. It is in this companionship that we see the divine plan unfold, where two individuals, each distinct in their identity, come together to walk a path of mutual growth and spiritual fulfillment. A soulmate isn't always the person who agrees with us at every turn, but rather the one who understands the deeper currents of our heart, the desires, the dreams, and even the fears that shape our journey. It is through these shared values and goals that we grow together, helping each other see life through different perspectives, while remaining anchored in the purpose that unites us. Reflecting on this, we can draw inspiration from the life of Ruth and Naomi in the Bible, a profound example of loyalty and shared purpose. In the book of Ruth, Naomi and Ruth, despite their different backgrounds, shared a bond of love and loyalty that transcended circumstances. Ruth's commitment to Naomi, saying in Ruth 1:16, "Where you go, I will go, and where you lodge, I will lodge. Your people shall be my people, and your God, my God," beautifully captures the essence of a shared purpose and values. It wasn't just a promise of companionship, it was a declaration of aligned mission and the deep connection of souls who, though different in their individual experiences, chose to walk together toward a common goal. In any relationship, whether it be a partnership of friendship or love, the most profound unity arises not from sameness, but from the alignment of values. When we meet someone whose core beliefs resonate with ours, who understands our deeper purpose, we don't need to agree on every detail of life. We may have different opinions, different ways of seeing the world, but the foundational truths we share bind us in a way that allows for growth, peace, and harmony. The alignment of purpose brings strength to relationships, not because it eliminates differences, but because it fosters mutual respect for those differences. Each person's unique perspective and experiences offer growth and understanding. When souls are aligned in purpose, they encourage each other to reach higher, to stretch further, and to move closer toward the divine calling on each of their lives. In a soulmate relationship, the true beauty lies in the harmony between two individuals, each on their own journey, yet bound together by the same ultimate destination, living a life of faith, love, and purpose. This unity doesn't require perfection, but a shared understanding that we are walking together, hand in hand, toward a greater good, guided by values that align with God's plan for our lives. As we reflect on our relationships, let us remember that a soulmate is not defined by similarity in every aspect, but by a shared foundation in faith and purpose. True harmony arises from the understanding that, despite the differences that may exist on the surface, the core values and goals remain one, leading to a life of peace, fulfillment, and divine connection. In this way, we can continue to walk with our soulmates, not in perfect agreement, but in perfect alignment with the divine purpose that guides us both. Soulmates are not merely romantic companions. They are divinely placed in your life to help you grow. Their purpose transcends simple companionship or agreement. They are there to challenge you, to test you, and to help shape you into a better version of yourself. While we often seek relationships where harmony and agreement prevail, a soulmate's true role can be seen through the lens of personal and spiritual growth. In our journey through life, we face numerous challenges that are not always easy to understand or navigate. But these challenges are not sent by chance. Many times, they are sent by God, who uses these experiences to refine us, much like a sculptor chisels away at a piece of stone to reveal the masterpiece hidden within. Our soulmates are often the tools he uses in this divine process. They come into our lives not only to love us, but to challenge our ideas, our beliefs, and our values. It is easy to become comfortable in a relationship where everything is agreeable, but growth rarely happens in comfort. When your soulmate disagrees with you or pushes you to see things from a different perspective, it is an invitation to grow, to mature, and to strengthen your faith. The Bible speaks of refining processes that bring out the best in us. Proverbs 27:17 says, "As iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another." This sharpening is not always comfortable. It can be painful, but it is necessary for personal and spiritual development. The relationship with a soulmate is not about finding someone who merely agrees with you or makes you feel good all the time. Instead, It is about finding someone who helps you face your weaknesses, who challenges your fears, and who encourages you to step into the fullness of your potential. Sometimes this will mean a soulmate will push you to confront difficult truths about yourself. Other times they might push you to make decisions that are hard but necessary for your growth. From a religious perspective, this process of challenge is deeply spiritual. God allows these relationships to help you develop your character and to grow in your faith. In the book of James we are reminded, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance." James 1:2-3. These trials, often magnified through the relationships we have with our soulmates, are not there to break us but to build us up, to produce perseverance, and to strengthen our trust in God. The role of a soulmate, therefore, is not always about agreement, but about transformation. In these relationships, we are given the opportunity to grow closer to the person God intended us to become. It is through the challenges they bring, the disagreements they offer, and the difficulties they cause that we learn to develop patience, humility, and a deeper understanding of ourselves and our faith. A soulmate can be a mirror, reflecting both your strengths and your flaws. It is through this reflection that you are able to see what you need to work on, what areas of your life require refinement, and what aspects of your character need strengthening. When you look into the mirror of your soulmate's perspective, you are often confronted with the parts of yourself you'd rather not see. But it is only by facing these parts head-on that you can grow in wisdom and grace. The relationship may sometimes feel like a test of your patience, your faith, and your commitment, but these tests are the very means by which you are refined. You might not always understand why certain conflicts or challenges arise in your relationship, but trust that God is using this process to develop your character. The challenges your soulmate brings are not random. They are purposeful, designed by God to refine you, just as gold is refined by fire. In a world where we are often taught to avoid discomfort, we must learn to embrace the challenges that our soulmates bring into our lives. These challenges are not punishments, but opportunities for growth. They are the divine tools used to refine us, sharpen our character, and bring us closer to the person we were always meant to be. As you reflect on your relationship with your soulmate, remember that it is not about finding someone who will always agree with you, but someone who will help you grow spiritually, emotionally, and mentally. These relationships are meant to test and challenge you, to push you toward becoming a better version of yourself. And through these tests, you will find that your faith is deepened, your character is refined, and your connection with God grows stronger. When we talk about finding peace, especially when we are with our soulmate, there is a special kind of calmness that comes from being in their presence. This peace is not just about the quiet moments or the serene environment around us. It's a deeper, spiritual kind of peace that resonates with the very core of who we are. It's the kind of peace that flows from knowing that you can be your true self without fear of judgment or needing to hide any part of you. Being with a soulmate doesn't just bring you comfort, it brings you a sense of divine alignment, where the struggles of the world seem distant, and you can simply rest in the unconditional love you share. In many ways, this peace is a reflection of God's love for us. When we read in the Bible, "Peace I leave with you, my peace I give you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled, and do not be afraid." John 14:27. We can see how the peace that God offers transcends the chaos of the world. It's not dependent on external circumstances or the fleeting emotions of the moment. It is rooted in a divine assurance that no matter what happens, everything will be okay. When you're with your soulmate, you feel this peace because their presence is like a reminder of God's promise to always be with you, to always hold you close, and to always guide you through the storms of life. The peace we experience in the presence of our soulmate is not a fleeting feeling, but rather a reflection of our deeper connection, spiritually, emotionally, and mentally. It is a connection that feels destined, like it was written into the very fabric of the universe, and it reminds us that there is a plan for us all. In moments of struggle, when life feels overwhelming and the path ahead seems uncertain, being with that person brings clarity and stillness. You no longer have to pretend to be someone you are not. You can let your guard down. You can release all the anxieties, fears, and worries that weigh heavily on your heart, because you know deep down that you are exactly where you need to be. This peace is an invitation to rest, to stop striving, and to simply exist in the moment, knowing that everything is unfolding as it should. It's a divine gift to be able to experience this kind of calm, not because the world around you is perfect, but because your soul knows it is exactly where it is meant to be. Your soulmate becomes not just a companion, but a vessel of God's love, a tangible reminder that there is peace in trusting and surrendering to the plan that has been set for you. It is through these moments of peace that we begin to understand the true nature of love. Love is not just about grand gestures or fulfilling each other's needs. It's about being fully present, with no pretenses or expectations. When you are with someone who truly understands you, you find a peace that words cannot describe. You no longer have to seek external validation or chase after things that are not aligned with your soul's purpose. With your soulmate, you find that peace doesn't come from external circumstances, but from the deep knowing that you are loved unconditionally, just as you are. As we go through life, we are constantly searching for meaning and purpose. But what if the key to peace is not found in the future or in the accomplishments we strive for, but in the stillness of the present moment? This is the peace that the Bible speaks about, the peace that passes all understanding. Philippians 4:7. It is not a peace that is defined by our worldly successes or failures, but one that is rooted in the knowledge that we are loved, valued, and destined for greatness. And when we are with our soulmate, we experience a glimpse of that divine peace. Being in the presence of someone who truly accepts you as you are can be transformative. It gives you the freedom to express your vulnerabilities, to share your dreams, and to open up about your fears without the fear of being judged. It's a reminder that we are all imperfect beings on a journey of growth, and we do not have to hide those imperfections. Your soulmate is there to walk beside you, not to change you, but to support you as you both navigate this beautiful, sometimes chaotic, and unpredictable world. In their eyes, you see your true self reflected back to you, not through a lens of judgment, but through a lens of love and acceptance. In these moments of peace, we learn that true strength is not about always having everything together, but about having the courage to be vulnerable, to trust in the divine timing of life, and to believe that everything is unfolding as it should. And through it all, your soulmate becomes a source of that strength, providing you with unwavering support, love, and peace. In times of difficulty, when the storms of life seem to rage around us, we are reminded that peace doesn't come from avoiding challenges. Rather, it comes from knowing that even in the midst of them, we are not alone. God promises to be with us always, and in the presence of a soulmate, we experience that promise in the most tangible way. When we are at peace with ourselves and with the one we love, we are able to face the world with courage, knowing that we are supported by divine love. The peace that we find with our soulmate is not just about feeling safe or comfortable. It's about feeling grounded in a love that transcends time and space, a love that reflects the very essence of God's love for us. It's a reminder that, no matter what happens in this world, the love we share with those who are closest to us is a reflection of something far greater than ourselves. a divine force that is always at work, bringing us closer to the purpose we were created to fulfill. This peace, this divine peace, is a gift. It is a gift we must cherish and nurture, because in it we find the strength to overcome any obstacle, the wisdom to make wise decisions, and the courage to continue on the path of faith. It is through this peace that we come to understand that the most important thing in life is not what we accomplish, but how we love, how we show up for one another, and how we walk in alignment with God's plan. In the end, it is love that gives us peace. And through love, we experience the deepest and most profound connection with both our soulmate and with God. And in that connection, we find the peace that surpasses all understanding. In life, there are moments that feel orchestrated, as though the universe has conspired to bring certain people into our lives. But for those of us who believe in a higher power, we may recognize that these relationships are not just chance or coincidence. Sometimes they are divinely appointed, as the Bible tells us about the relationships God has designed for our lives. These divinely orchestrated connections are often referred to as soulmates, but their significance transcends romantic love. A soulmate, from a spiritual perspective, is more than just someone with whom we share deep affection. A soulmate, in the context of God's plan, is a person who enters our life at the right time, for the right reason, and with the divine purpose of helping us fulfill our calling and mission in life. These relationships are often predestined, aligned with God's will, and serve as catalysts for spiritual growth, enlightenment, and a deeper connection to our Creator. Consider the relationships in the Bible, from Adam and Eve to Ruth and Boaz, and even to the apostolic partnerships between Paul and Barnabas. We see the hand of God at work in the way these individuals came together. Each relationship had a purpose that was in alignment with God's greater plan, and while some of them were romantic, many were simply partnerships in faith. Ruth, for example, was not only blessed with a husband, but with a purpose that led her to become the great-grandmother of King David, an ancestor of Jesus Christ. Her story is a beautiful reminder that relationships that are divinely arranged often hold a deeper calling than we can immediately perceive. In today's world, we often think of soulmates as being limited to romantic partnerships. However, God's plan for our lives is far greater than any singular aspect of our human experience. A soulmate may be a friend, a mentor, a colleague, or even a family member. God places these individuals in our lives to encourage us, challenge us, help us grow, and push us toward becoming the people He has called us to be. We all know the story of the prophet Elijah and his relationship with his apprentice, Elisha. Elijah, a great prophet of God, was tasked with anointing Elisha as his successor. Elisha didn't just learn from Elijah's wisdom, he became anointed for a higher calling. Their relationship was divinely orchestrated, as God had a purpose for Elisha that could only be realized through the mentorship and guidance of Elijah. Similarly, God may place people in your life who are meant to teach you, challenge you, or walk with you on your spiritual journey. But how do we recognize these divinely appointed relationships? It's not always easy. It requires a certain level of discernment and faith. It requires that we look beyond surface-level connections and see the divine purpose in the people we meet. Sometimes these relationships might not make sense at first. They might challenge us or cause us to grow in ways that are uncomfortable. But if we trust in God's plan, we begin to understand that each connection is an opportunity to serve Him and align more deeply with His will. In the Bible, God is clear that He doesn't just care about our individual lives, He cares about our relationships as well. In Ecclesiastes 4:9-12, it is written, "Two are better than one. If either of them falls down, one can help the other up." This passage emphasizes the importance of companionship and mutual support, which are central to many of the soul-affirming relationships we experience in life. God calls us to be there for each other, to lift one another up, and to support each other as we walk the path of faith. Moreover, the relationships God places in our lives are not just for our benefit. They are also for the benefit of those we are in relationship with. We may be called to bless others, offer wisdom, or provide encouragement. Just as the Apostle Paul writes in Philippians 1:3-6, I thank my God every time I remember you, being confident of this, that he who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion until the day of Christ Jesus. God brings people into our lives to help us fulfill his purpose for us, and in turn, we are meant to help others fulfill theirs. Recognizing and honoring these divine relationships requires humility and trust in God's timing. Sometimes we may not understand why certain people come into our lives or why others leave. But if we allow ourselves to trust in God's plan, we begin to see the divine appointments that were set long before we ever knew. There may be moments in your life when you feel alone or unsure of your purpose. It is in these moments that God may bring the right person into your life, not just to give you love or comfort, but to help you align more fully with his will. It could be a friend who speaks truth into your life, a mentor who helps guide you, or a loved one who reminds you of God's promises. The key to understanding divinely appointed soulmates is recognizing that God's love for us is reflected in the relationships he brings into our lives. These relationships are not accidents. They are part of a grand design that God has for each of us. They help shape us into who he has called us to be, and they play a vital role in the fulfillment of our purpose. In the end, the relationships we cherish, whether romantic, familial, or platonic, are often a reflection of God's love for us. They serve as reminders that we are never alone in our journey. Through every soul connection, God is there, guiding us, shaping us, and leading us toward the greater purpose he has designed for our lives. Trusting in the divine appointments of soulmates means trusting in God's perfect plan, knowing that everything, even the people we meet, has a higher purpose in his divine will. In the vastness of life, we often experience moments where the paths of our lives seem to intertwine with someone else's in ways that feel destined, almost sacred. These moments are not merely coincidences, but divine interventions that align us with individuals meant to help us grow, heal, and become more aligned with our true purpose. The presence of a soulmate in these instances is part of a grander design. It is as though God has orchestrated the meeting, placing this individual at a pivotal moment in your life to help guide you through challenges or push you toward a new chapter. The Bible reminds us in Ecclesiastes 3:1, "To everything there is a season and a time for every matter under heaven." This verse speaks to the truth that there is a perfect time for everything, and that includes the presence of those who are meant to walk with us, even if it's only for a season. A soulmate is not simply someone who brings joy or comfort. They often come into our lives during moments of difficulty, when we are in need of growth or strength. They appear during transitions, guiding us through obstacles that we would otherwise find too difficult to face alone. In times of hardship, it can feel like the weight of the world is too much. But then, almost like a divine intervention, someone steps in, showing you a new perspective, offering support, or simply being a quiet strength beside you. These people often serve as messengers of God's love, reminding us that we are never truly alone. When we look at biblical figures, we see how soulmates have played a role in God's plans. Take, for example, the story of Ruth and Naomi. Ruth, in her loyalty and love for her mother-in-law Naomi, found herself on a path that led her to Boaz, a man who would eventually become her husband. But more than a romantic connection, Boaz was the support and stability that Ruth needed in a time of personal loss and hardship. Ruth's journey wasn't just about finding love. It was about stepping into a new chapter of her life where she could grow and serve God in a deeper way. Her connection with Boaz wasn't mere chance. It was the fulfillment of God's plan for both of them. This speaks to the power of divine timing in our lives. Soulmates often appear when we need them most, when we're about to step into a new season of growth. Sometimes this growth is painful. Sometimes it requires us to stretch beyond our comfort zones and trust in the path ahead, even when we can't see the entire picture. But just as God provided Ruth with Boaz in her time of need, He places soulmates in our lives at moments when we are ready to embrace the lessons they bring. It's not about perfection, but about the shared journey of growth. We may also look at the relationship between David and Jonathan in the Bible. Their bond, described as one of deep friendship and loyalty, was not one that was expected or sought after. They came from different backgrounds, with Jonathan being the son of King Saul, and David being anointed by God to be the future king. Yet, in the midst of political turmoil and personal trials, Jonathan and David became soulmates in the truest sense. Their relationship was built on mutual trust, love, and support, even when circumstances made their connection difficult. In 1 Samuel 18:1 it says, "The soul of Jonathan was knit to the soul of David, and Jonathan loved him as his own soul." Their bond was not based on convenience or mutual benefit, but rather on a deep, unbreakable connection that transcended the challenges they faced. In the same way, our soulmates come into our lives not because we have it all together, but because God knows we need someone to walk with us through the storms of life. This is what makes the presence of a soulmate so profound. They are not just there for the good times, they are there for the challenging moments. The moments when you feel lost, unsure, or overwhelmed by life's burdens. Their presence is a reminder that God is at work in our lives, even when we can't see the full picture. They help us stay grounded in our faith, offering support when we need it most, and guiding us toward the fulfillment of God's plan for us. Through their love, kindness, and wisdom, soulmates often help us draw closer to God, as their influence leads us to a deeper understanding of ourselves and our purpose. Soulmates also bring transformation. They challenge us in ways that push us to become better versions of ourselves. In many ways, they act as mirrors, reflecting back to us both our strengths and our weaknesses. This mirror effect can be uncomfortable, but it is essential for our spiritual and personal growth. In these moments, we are called to trust in God's plan and to allow ourselves to be refined through the experience. It's a process of sanctification, a journey that brings us closer to the person God has always intended for us to become. When we allow ourselves to be vulnerable with our soulmates, we open ourselves to God's healing. Our deepest wounds, our darkest fears, can be laid bare in the presence of someone who understands us on a soul-deep level. This vulnerability allows us to experience God's love more fully, as it is through these deep connections that we see His love manifest in the most tangible ways. Just as Jesus shared His deepest moments with His disciples, we too are called to share our lives with those who God places in our path. In these sacred relationships, we find the courage to heal, grow, and step into the fullness of God's calling. It's important to remember that soulmates come in many forms. They may be romantic partners, close friends, or even mentors. What matters is that they are there for a reason, to help us become who we are meant to be. They walk with us during our most challenging moments and remind us that we are not alone. Just as God placed Adam and Eve in the garden to help one another, He continues to place soulmates in our lives today to help us navigate the complexities of the world we live in. Ultimately, soulmates are a reflection of God's love and grace. They remind us that no matter where we are in life, God is always with us, orchestrating the moments that lead us to the people we need most. Their presence is a gift, one that reflects the deep, unconditional love God has for each of us. When we look at our soulmates through this lens, we see that their arrival in our lives is not just a matter of chance, but of divine timing, a reminder that God's plan for us is always unfolding, and that we are never alone in our journey. In conclusion, recognizing a soulmate goes beyond the immediate emotional connection. It's about the deep spiritual bond that transcends time and space. Whether it's through shared beliefs, life values, or the challenges they help you overcome, a soulmate is someone who walks beside you on your journey of growth and self-discovery. The connection with a soulmate brings peace and a sense of belonging, allowing you to truly be yourself. As we reflect on the profound connections we form in life, it's important to understand that soulmates are not just romantic partners, but are individuals who help us align with our higher purpose. They might come into our lives at pivotal moments, guiding us towards greater fulfillment and helping us fulfill our mission. Whether you've already met your soulmate or are still searching, trust that this connection will come when it's meant to. Stay open to the possibilities and continue nurturing your spiritual journey. If you found this video insightful, feel free to like, share, and subscribe for more content on growth, manifestation, and the power of positive connections. Until next time, stay blessed and continue to embrace the beauty of your journey.